Hello everyone, it's Sal here. Welcome back to another perfume video. I hope you're doing well. So today I wanted to talk about some perfumes I have in my collection which don't seem to have the best of reputations in the perfume community. I just thought it might be kind of fun to share my own opinions on these fragrances because I actually really love them. I don't think they're, boring at all. I actually really enjoy these, but I think that that's something just really interesting about perfumes in general, just how subjective it is. I think, we could all perceive fragrances slightly differently and we'll all have our own opinions on them, and I think that that's fantastic. So today I just wanted to share my opinions on these fragrances. In particular, I was really inspired by Alithia's video from the Simple Chic Life. She recently did a video on this sort of topic, just sharing her own opinions on perfumes which don't have the best reputation, so I was really inspired by that video. So definitely check out Alithia's video on this topic if you haven't already. I'm going to leave a link in the description box down below. Before we get started with today's video, get yourself comfortable and grab yourself a drink and a snack. Comment below your drink of choice. Okay, so first up today, I want to talk about Armani My Way. Now, this is a beautiful perfume in my opinion, but I have definitely heard quite a few different reviews referring to this perfume as a very boring, very sort of lackluster, generic kind of fragrance. And to be honest with you guys, the first time I tried this perfume, I wasn't that blown away by it either. I sort of thought that it was quite a simple fragrance, nothing special, things like that. But the thing with this one is it actually grew on me. So the more I wore it, the more I fell in love with it. And to be honest with you, the dry down is absolutely beautiful on this one. So initially, when you first spray it, it's quite a bright, kind of bubblegummy tuberose opening, quite sparkly as well with the bergamot. There's some orange blossom in there as well. So it's a really nice, bright, uplifting opening to this fragrance. Upon the dry down, some of the, I think it's cedarwood in the base notes, that begins to come out, giving it a kind of creamy woodiness. There's some vanilla in there as well. And something about this dry down is actually quite comforting to me as well. I think it's a beautiful fragrance. For me personally, I don't actually find it to be boring. I think it's a very feminine, uplifting, flirty, beautiful everyday kind of scent, and very versatile, which is something I love about perfumes, if they're quite versatile. And I absolutely love this one, you guys. I think the lasting power is really good on it as well. It's not a beast mode fragrance or anything like that. But it's, it's got decent longevity. The scent itself is beautiful in my opinion. It's the kind of perfume that I don't get tired of, and I would happily wear it many days in a row. I just absolutely love this one, you guys. So that's Armani My Way. Next up today, we have the notorious Black Opium. Now, I'm sure if you've watched a few perfume videos on YouTube, you will have come across the occasional negative sort of review of this perfume. I know, for example, Demi Rawling really doesn't like this one. I think Mila LeBlanc also really, maybe I can't remember exactly what she said about it, but I think she finds it to be quite boring. But she's not a fan of it anyway. For me personally, I just love this perfume, you guys. I think it's incredible. I pick up on lots of different aspects to this scent. So I get the orange blossom in here. Of course I get the coffee and the vanilla, but there's more to this scent to me. So there's a powderiness to this fragrance, there's a thickness. I get some of that licorice as well, which gives it quite a nice depth. I also get the pear in the opening as well, so it's got a really nice kind of fruity touch to the opening, and overall I just love this perfume. It lasts quite well on me as well, so I find the lasting power to be quite good. Maybe it varies, depending on the person, but for me it does last quite well, and I just love this perfume. I can see how it wouldn't be for everybody. I mean, as with all perfumes, they are just subjective, so it's based on, your own personal tastes and your own personal opinion. But for me, I love Black Opium. Please leave me a comment below what you think of Black Opium, if you've tried it. Do you love it or do you hate it? It does seem to be the kind of perfume that you do either love or hate. I've not heard that many neutral reviews on it. I've either heard people saying that they adore it or that they really strongly dislike it. So that's quite interesting as well. To me, overall, this is a very pleasant scent. Very addictive. It's the kind of fragrance that I just want to keep smelling, if you know what I mean. Just so beautiful. That licorice in there just makes it absolutely stunning in my opinion. I love the kind of thick powdery nature to it. I love the coffee, I love the pear notes. I think it's just stunning. I like the slight floral aspect to it as well, so I believe there's orange blossom and jasmine in here. And overall, I just love this scent, you guys. So please leave a comment below to let me know what you think of Black Opium. It's certainly one of my favourites, to the point where I have my limited edition packaging of this perfume because I knew it was going to be a repurchase anyway, because I was getting through this bottle quite quickly. So I love this one, of course. I do also have the hair mist. I love the hair mist, so if I'm wearing this as my scent of the day, I try and remember to use the hair mist as well. And I also have the intense version, which I actually think if the original Black Opium was a bit too sweet for you, if it was just not interesting enough for you, then I would say maybe give the intense one a try, because actually this fragrance is a little bit more, it's got a bit more to it, if you know what I mean. So there's an absinthe note in here, which gives it a kind of booziness. There's something bitter in here, which might even be the absinthe again, or maybe it's a bitter almond note, I can't quite remember. But there's something in this fragrance giving it a kind of bitter aspect, which complements the kind of sweet coffee nature very, very nicely. It almost reminds me of like a boozy coffee drink, like an Irish coffee or something like that, or a espresso martini, you know, that kind of thing. A boozy coffee kind of smell with a slight bitter aspect to it. It's just a bit more interesting and not as sweet. So the bitter aspect of the scent, it kind of tempers the sweetness a bit. So actually, if the original Black Opium was too sweet for you, I would definitely just give this one a try. It's not as sweet, it's a bit more grown up, a bit more sophisticated, and you might very well prefer it. So that's Black Opium Intense that I love. But of course, I just absolutely love my Black Opium fragrances, you guys. You will know this if you already watch my channel. I just can't get enough of it. I think it's fantastic. To the point where I have purchased a few different versions of the scent. I do still need to try Black Opium Neon. That is a perfume which I do think I would also really like. I haven't tried that one yet. And Floral Shock as well is one I haven't tried. Another perfume I want to mention today is one which I'm not sure if it's been described in a similar way to Black Opium or My Way. I'm not sure if it's been described as boring or anything like that. Maybe you could let me know in the comments, but I do think it's quite underrated actually. I think this fragrance is slightly more interesting and it's slightly more complex than you would originally think, and that perfume is the beautiful Poison Girl from Dior. So to me this perfume is quite underrated, you guys. Poison Girl, I think it's absolutely stunning. So there's a lot to this scent that I pick up on. There's an almond note, there's a powderiness, there's cashmere, there's a balsamic quality to this fragrance. It's got some orange blossom in here. I believe it also has rose. And there's a bitter orange note in the top notes. A real bitter, almost slightly tart, kind of zesty orangey notes, giving it a kind of a zesty kick initially, and it really complements the orange blossom and the almond and all of the other notes going on in here. It's just absolutely beautiful, and I do think it's quite underrated for that reason. To me, this is a very luscious, very, very feminine, very gorgeous, enveloping, flirty fragrance, you guys. It's absolutely stunning. This is one of my go-to scents for a date night kind of situation. It just makes me feel fantastic. I love the way that all of the notes complement each other in here. The addition of almond is particularly beautiful, actually. It gives it a kind of thickness, a slight nuttiness, a creaminess. It really complements the powdery sort of feeling that this fragrance has. It's not overly powdery, but it is slightly thick and powdery to my nose. Very gorgeous, very interesting actually. This is not a simplistic fragrance to my nose anyway. Maybe you could let me know in the comments what you think of Poison Girl. But to me, there's actually a bit more to this fragrance than meets the eye. It's got something interesting about it. I love the dry down as well. It's got such a beautiful dry down. I believe there might even be some sandalwood in there as well. And it's just heavenly, you guys. I absolutely love this one. So that is Dior Poison Girl Eau de Parfum. Next up today, I wanted to mention Flower Bomb. I really enjoy this fragrance, and although it's not one that I would repurchase myself, it is one that I enjoy wearing and I think it's very beautiful. So this has a really interesting top note of tea. I believe there's lots of florals in here, like rose, there's some patchouli. This almost smells like a combination of a kind of sweet, milky drink with some sugar-coated flowers and some tea as well. So it's actually quite interesting to me. I think this fragrance is absolutely beautiful. I think it's popular for good reason. It's very long-lasting actually, very good quality fragrance. And I do hear quite mixed opinions on this one, so I think, you know, I've heard a few reviews describing it as very boring, again, just very simple and nothing special, but I've heard, you know, other reviews where people have described it as a very beautiful, addictive, a very nice sweet floral scent. So I think, you know, there are some divided opinions on Flower Bomb as well. Please let me know what you think of this perfume. I think it's very nice. It's not going to be a repurchase. I wouldn't repurchase this fragrance because I don't love it enough, but I certainly do enjoy it and I think it's really very nice. So that is Flower Bomb from Viktor and Rolf. And last up today, but by no means least, we have Viva Juicy. Now, this perfume is actually very good in my opinion. It's extremely affordable, and to me it really smells quite an awful lot like Grand Ballo from Xerjoff. They have a very similar note composition. There's something very similar about those two fragrances, which I was delighted to discover, of course, because I was very close to purchasing Grand Ballo myself, and that perfume is not cheap. But of course, when I discovered this perfume, I thought I would just buy this one instead because it does smell quite similar. They're not 100% dupes or anything like that, but they are very, very similar to my nose. And I think this one is just fantastic. This is a very playful, girly, flirty, Moorish, very pleasant fragrance indeed, and I absolutely love it. There's some caramel in here, some berries, there's gardenia, so it's quite floral, but it's also slightly fruity and gourmand as well, and I absolutely love it. So that is Viva Juicy. So there we have it, you guys. Those are some perfumes which I absolutely love. I think something so interesting about the world of perfume is just how subjective it is, how we can all perceive fragrances slightly differently, and I think that's just wonderful about it. So please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. I'd really love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching today. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!